Hey everybody, my name is Dylan Scott Gilligan, and today I am going to be telling you my thoughts on Dune Part 2. Okay, so yes, I had never seen a Dune movie or a miniseries or read a book until I met my boyfriend, and then the Dune remake came out with Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya, and I was very excited to see Zendaya in Dune 1 and didn't see her much, but that's okay. My boyfriend, did anybody know it was going to be part 1? Because he was disappointed with that. And I was like, what the heck? It was the first one was a long movie. I fell asleep a couple times, but it was because I was laying down in a bed. So it's fine. It's not because it's boring. But Dune Part 2, I really, really enjoyed it. It's a very emotionally complex story where it seemed like Paul really, no matter what he chose, there was no right answer, but not him betraying. Oh my gosh, why can I not think of Zendaya's name? Chani? Hold on, let me look it up. Okay, I just did a bunch of research and they said Chani is how they're pronouncing it in the movie. And there was just so many names being thrown around, I forgot most of them, so I do apologize for that. But she played such an awesome role in this, trying to keep him grounded, trying to keep him stable, trying to keep him humble, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't going to work. There was too much pressure on him. He was really the only one who could make everybody, kind of believe in him through a false prophecy or whatever you want to say. It was powerful enough for him to rise to power. And obviously, there's spoilers, sorry. It's been out for a while, but it was nice to see him not want all that power. And he originally didn't want to, but I think the water of life has to do something to him. Because at that point, it just was, and I think he knew too, all hope was lost, but he knew he had to do that if he was going to travel south or whatever. And his mom too, I was like, it seems like after she drank the water of life, I think it's water of life, like she turned evil. But then I remember, like, she was never necessarily good. They came from a political family. Their agendas were never going to be to help, I'm forgetting all the names, I'm so sorry. The people, like Zendaya's people. So, obviously, she didn't turn evil. She's always had that. And I think it just went to her head more, too. Especially because she's becoming, like, the main, I don't even know what they're called. This is going to be such a hard review. You know what I'm talking about. They can see things in the kind of magical. And then the baby talking to her and stuff was interesting. And then it was Anna Taylor-Joy for a second. But I found the story to be really interesting. It was very, very long. Very long. But I was never bored. It was just very long. But I liked him, like, kind of learning their ways. And at the end, when they're like, if he can ride the worm, like, then he's one of us, blah, blah. It was nice to see that. But when he is talking to the Emperor, Christopher Walken, come on now. And he's like, I'm going to marry your daughter, and then I'll spare your life or whatever. And then we look over at Tony, and I was like, no. That was the only time I was so mad at him. Because in my opinion, he had to kind of, I didn't know if he was just acting as the leader, right? If he's just doing it because he thought he needed to do it to save, like, Zendaya's people, like, that whole planet. But don't they end up, like, bombing all the spice things anyway at the end because of the other houses? So it's just sad. And I don't really know what happens in the other two books, but I definitely didn't want to see him with Florence. Like, to me, this is a love story as well. And then they're just going to rip our hearts out and throw it out the window. And that's the end of it. But then again, like I said, I don't know. If they have another movie, I'm definitely going to watch it. But if there's no Chani and Paul love, I'm going to be very sad. Because I feel like that was a huge thing about it. Like, he's smitten with her the whole movie, but he tells her, like, I'll always love you. So I think he still does. But when you tell somebody that, and then you want to be betrothed to somebody else, and keeping in mind, his mom did tell him that, like, you need to be thinking about the political relationships more. It's just like, come on. Like, can't we have our cake and eat it too at this point? We've been through enough. But yeah, it was also, why did Paul not spill the beans about the Emperor planning the whole attack on his family, on his house of whatever? And then the house would be like, oh snap, the Emperor did that? And then just leave or something. I don't know. Obviously that's not the story, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did. I loved it. It's just such a thing where you're not supposed to, I don't think you're supposed to walk out feeling like it was a victory. And then my boyfriend was telling me too, like, the author, people saw Paul, I guess, originally as a hero, but he's not supposed to be a hero. He's power hungry and greedy, and eventually I think he was trying to fight against that the whole movie, but after the Water of Life showed him everything, I think that was it. And all his inhibitions or whatever, I don't even know if that's the right word, I'm trying to use vocabulary words, everything he was trying to do to not be what Chani didn't want him to be is out the window at this point. I think because to him now it's a bigger picture, and for him he has to do things for the bigger picture, which makes sense, but also I'm like, no, don't do that. So yeah, I walked out like loving it, but I'm questioning. I kind of want to make another movie, but also if they don't, I feel like it was a great grandeur storytelling of this story. My boyfriend said basically they did 3/4 of the book in the first movie, so this was just the last fourth, but they really dragged it out. I don't think it was a bad thing, it was just really long, but I wouldn't mind if this was the last movie, because I think it's such a piece on like politics and how it can corrupt people and the power that comes with it. And no matter how you're going in, if you have good intentions, whatever, they can be easily warped, because sometimes you have to make these decisions that you wouldn't be making if you weren't in the situations. So yeah, that's my little piece on it as well. The popcorn bucket, absolutely not. Who made that? But the worms are really, really cool. And I did like seeing them ride the worms and stuff. And when they were taking Paul's mom, like, to the southern area, and she was in that little thing, I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool, actually. And I wouldn't mind a third movie. But also Florence Pugh's character was interesting to me, and I feel like I didn't get enough of that. Because in my brain, and I know this isn't how it works, it's like good, bad, and tweeners. I call them tweeners. She didn't necessarily seem evil or bad to me. It seemed like because of her upbringing, she was on the wrong side. But you could tell she was very aware of things and why they may be wrong. Like Austin Butler's character, she's like, he's psychotic, whatever. So she's out here speaking the truth, everyone. And her outfit at the end was pretty cool. It was like night-like, so I don't know. Y'all, do they get married? Do they have kids? I know there's a book called Children of the Dune or something, right? And a Dune Messiah. So it's going to be hard, though, watching, like, a character, I feel, our main character, one of our main characters, Paul, like, becomes, like, a villain. That stinks. Nobody wants that. But maybe it'll be interesting. I don't know. And Chani comes in as our main hero. I can get behind that. Because who doesn't love Zendaya, right? Okay, I think I'm done rambling. Mind you, I'm not an avid Dune follower, so I'm sorry, I forgot a lot of names. A lot. My boyfriend was explaining it to me in the car before he went too, and he was like naming all these words. He's so smart about it, and I was like, oh, I need to practice a little, but that's okay. I would rate it a 9 out of 10, honestly, or actually a 9.5. I really enjoyed it. I was never bored. The only thing is I had to take 2 bathroom breaks because I've been drinking a lot of water lately. Probably TMI, but that kind of stinks because you miss a little bit of it. But it's fine. It was a long movie. Yeah, so let me know in the comments how you thought about this movie, especially if you're a huge Dune fan. Did you read the books? Did you watch the original movie? I heard there's a mini series with James McAvoy in it as Paul's son. So there's that. I haven't seen any of the movies or read any of the books, so just let me know. How did you feel about it? Or if you didn't, if you're like me and you just watch the 2 remakes, because the first one was so long ago, I feel like at this point. I forgot a bunch of stuff. Yeah, so just leave your comments. Let me know. Like this video and also subscribe to hear my thoughts on more things next week. See you then. Bye.
Hey y'all, it's me, Ibil. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe!